Today I'm sharing with you a dish called Minestra alla Napoletana, which is a very traditional soup that has escarole, sausage, and white bean. And since it's wintertime right now, who doesn't love a hearty bowl of soup? Pronto? Allora andiamo a cucinare. Ciao, my name is Lucia and thanks for tuning in to Green Olive Cooking. This is a channel where you are only a few ingredients away from a fabulous meal. So to start making our soup, we're going to start with some ground Italian sausage, and I've got a stock pot that is heating up, and we're going to add our meat in here. Now, if you don't want to use sausage, you could use ground chicken, ground turkey, whatever type of ground meat you like is totally fine. So we're just going to saute this until it becomes cooked before we add our next ingredients. Okay, so while that's cooking, I want to share with you escarole. I know some people aren't really quite familiar with what escarole is or how to cook it or what it tastes like. This is what it looks like. So when you go to your grocery store, you're looking for something like this. It's very bunched up. And then if you look inside, you can see that the leaves are dirty. There's a lot of sand in here. So you definitely want to make sure that you clean this before you serve it. All right, now that our sausage is for the most part cooked, we're going to go ahead and add our chopped onion, and I'm going to add some minced garlic. We want to add some salt and add some pepper and continue cooking until the onions become a little bit translucent. Then we want to take our escarole leaves that we washed and we just want to cut them up in about 2-inch pieces. All right, and now we're going to add our chopped escarole straight into the pan. We want to cook it for about a minute or two just so it starts to wilt. Now we're going to add about 3 cups of our fagiolini. You can add as much or as little as you want. If you wanted to add more beans, you can absolutely add more beans. This is about 2 cans of beans though. And then I have some tomatoes. In the summertime, I'll usually use fresh Roma tomatoes, but I don't have any right now, so I just use canned tomatoes. So it's about 4 chopped up Roma tomatoes. So this is probably about a cup of chopped tomatoes. Again, you don't have to add exactly a cup. You can just add a whole can of chopped tomatoes if you want, whatever you have. Now at this point, we want it to start simmering with our broth. So we want to add about 4 cups, and so that is a carton of broth. And I like to use bone broth, but you could use chicken broth, vegetable broth, any kind of broth you want. Now it probably doesn't look like there's enough broth in here because of the vegetables, but it will cook down and it will be perfect. So now we're just going to cover our soup and let it simmer until it all cooks down. All right, so I think our soup is ready. You can see how all the escarole has now cooked down, and even though it looked like we didn't have enough broth, obviously there's plenty of broth in here. So now let's go ahead and finish this soup up by adding some extra flavor to it and creaminess. So I'm going to add about 4 tablespoons of butter. I'm going to add about half a cup of Parmesan cheese. And we just want to stir that up until all that butter is melted, and that's just going to give this dish a little bit more creaminess and richness to it. And I'm also going to throw in a little bit of rough chopped parsley. And I like parsley because it does give some extra flavor to your dish of freshness. And so now we're just about ready to serve, and of course we're going to add some more flavors on top of it as we get ready to serve it too. So at this point you want to taste it for salt and pepper and any other seasonings you might want to add to your dish. And you can see how healthy and nutritious this is with all these beautiful green escarole. To finish our soup, I'm just going to add some fresh parsley to garnish on top. I'm also going to add some really nice big pieces of Parmesan. And I think what's really going to give this soup a nice little kick is if we add just a few red hot pepper flakes. I think that's going to be really nice. And if you love this soup, I have another great soup recipe over here that you're going to love as well. Ciao, ci vediamo dopo. Buon appetit!